Hello, it's Tim, physiotherapist at Global Therapies. Welcome to the musings for this week. I suppose it should be the Friday afternoon, Friday morning musings. Goodness, my colour is in a mess. Today I thought we might talk about something that an awful lot of physios end up telling people to do, which is the classic 3x10. Whenever you're given an exercise to do, it always seems to be, how many of these should I do? Just do 3x10, you'll be fine. Where did this come from? Why is it useful? And why do we use it? It is a fairly long-standing joke that everything that gets prescribed is a 3x10. It actually comes from a paper, I think in the 1950s, where someone looked at a specific exercise and they just happened to use 3x10 because it was easy to remember, and in that case it seemed to work quite well for gaining strength. Beyond that, there wasn't a huge amount of research about it, and it kind of stuck because the main thing is it's easy to remember. Now, 3x10 can be very useful, but it also can be slightly misused or underused, is perhaps a good way of putting it. Let me give you a demonstration with a simple external rotation with against a band, which you can use for rotator cuff work. So if we have the lightest rotator cuff, lightest band I've got, okay, and I sit here and I do 10 of these, okay, 10 external rotations, 8, 9, 10, brilliant. There we go, I've done one lot of 10. Now I'm going to sit here and do another 2 lots of those 10s. Has that done anything that is of particular use? It's not a great thing in terms of gaining strength. What we want in terms of gaining strength is some intensity. So for me, this light band is far too light. So let me see if I can find a band that's slightly heavier. Here we go. This is the extra heavy version. Okay. Now if I try to do 10 here, you can see that I'm finding it a real challenge to even get through to any type of external rotation here. That's 3, and my shoulders are really working quite hard. 4, this is fine. 5, okay, I'm probably going to get to 7, maybe 6, and 7. Right, okay, didn't even get the 10 on that one, and that's with the extra heavy band. That, as you can see, was a whole lot more of a challenge to me than necessarily this, which is completely, it's barely even worth me doing. So, for me, working with an extra heavy band gets me to 7. So if I did 3x7, that's pretty decent, because tomorrow or the next day I might be able to do 3x8, and so on and so forth until I get to the stage where I've got enough strength to do 3x10. Now, this goes for most other physio activities. The exercise that you get, 3x10, you should probably look at as a target, something to be able to get to. You shouldn't necessarily be able to do 10 at the beginning, because then where do you progress to? You do 11, 12, 13, 14. By the time you're doing 3x30, it probably isn't doing you a great amount of good, unless it's something that's very specific for that thing. But we can talk about that later on. What we're looking for generally is to gain strength, and to do that, it needs to be a challenge. So don't just think about the amount that you have to do, think about the intensity at which you're doing it as well. If it's too easy, then it probably isn't going to do you as much good as trying something that is a little bit more challenging and certainly making you feel like that's got a higher intensity. 3x10, great way of increasing strength, great way of working with physio, but it is all about how difficult are those 10 to do. That's my thoughts for the day. As ever, like, subscribe just down below, and if you've got any questions or comments about this video, please do put it down in the chat and we can have a conversation about it. Have a lovely week.